Welcome to Bears Country Podcast. Last call at HALAS Hall. The Bears just traded Roquan. I'm sorry. I've said that many times to people I've been talking to all day. The Bears just traded Robert Quinn to the Eagles for a 4th-round pick. And we have my very special guest who was on the very first episode that we ever did of Bears Country Podcast. Brian Rheberg is going to join us. We're going to talk Bears. So let's get to this shit.
Bears Country Podcast.
That's kind of a revision on my original opener to the show. That was my second option. I just kind of upgraded the logo. I think it's a little quicker, and I like it a little bit more. So I hope you guys like it too. Let's bring on Brian. Brian, it's so great to talk to you again. It's so great to have you on the podcast again. You are such a good friend, and it's so awesome to talk Bears with you.
Well, I appreciate you having me back. I really enjoyed myself the first time. I've been watching you these past couple of months, and you're doing a great job. I'm gaining so much extra knowledge about the Bears just watching the show and the guests that you have, the amount of knowledge that they have. You know, it's been a great experience. You know, watching you excel at this. So I'm really happy to be here today.
Dude, thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's a lot of work, so it's nice to hear the compliment from a good friend. Dude, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. Like, I guess let's just start off with talking about this Robert Quinn trade.
Okay.
Wow. I mean, most people were saying that they saw that coming, right? And I actually didn't think the Bears were going to make a move. What do you think?
Well, I've been, myself seeing throughout the past weeks, the news always stating, yeah, he's going to be traded, anytime soon. And it just never happened. And then I think it was last game that, it's kind of late in the year. The trade deadline's coming up. Doesn't look like he's going to be traded. And then all of a sudden, bam, he's traded today. But I guess this might be, from the Eagles standpoint, they're looking like they needed an extra pass rusher for, their journey towards, the playoffs and the Super Bowl. Because, there's talk of the Eagles, advancing that far. So they need that little extra, pass rusher, because to my understanding that their statistics were kind of low defensively in that department. Yeah. So they may have, offered something that the Bears couldn't refuse. And the good thing is that money now is, shifted to the Eagles.
Yeah, like Mike Houston's saying, yep. Plus our cap space for next year. Oh my, it's going to be great, Mike Houston. Thanks for joining us. And to what you said, I love the deal too, a 4th-round pick. I mean, this is what I love about Poles is I wanted to bring up his stats on that. Well, we'll get to that in a second. But what I love about Poles is how he values draft picks like they're gold bars.
Right.
We saw him turn 5 draft picks into 11, and we're getting a lot of starters out of that are playing right now. And even if they're not starting, they're getting a lot of playing time in the game. Yeah. So I love the approach that he's taken. And my view was that he was going to continue to take this approach, which would be to stockpile picks, because the more draft picks that you have, the better you can build your team. If you can hit on those draft picks, you're going to save on salary cap space. You're going to, some of them you might have to let go. Some of them you're going to have to give a big contract to. But if you nail it on the draft, that's the key. And yeah, we have $100-something million, of cap space coming up this year. But to me, that's reserved for the players who have earned it on this team, like Roquan and Mooney and Justin Fields soon.
Yeah.
I mean, if Justin Fields continues to grow in this offense like he's doing, and he starts to, that was a good game last week. And I know it wasn't a blow-up game, and we've all been hoping for this big, Patrick Mahomes blow-up game.
Yeah.
But I feel it's still coming. So if you save that money for the players that you have on the team, keep building through the draft and keep saving that money to pay those players. And another 4th-round pick this year is I mean, it's just adding to this draft. And if we can get it, if we end up with a position where we can actually trade down in the first round and get more picks in this next draft, that would be even better. I mean, it's just the more and more picks you get, the better chance you have. And we saw that in this draft.
Yeah, and I was looking up their salary cap. Apparently, they have the highest amount to spend, like $136 million. They're like number one in salary cap in the NFL after this deal. So, like you said, they can now start, negotiating with Roquan again and get him the money he deserves. Save that money for Fields, especially. He's developing. I mean, I honestly see Fields as our future at quarterback for the next, I don't know how many years. I think he's going to be the one.
20, like they're going now,
And, and that right there is a whole different topic we can get into.
Did we lose you? While we lost you, there's a Roquan Smith. During the press conference today, he was talking. Wow, that's a cool image. I hope what I just saw actually remains in the video for the recording, because that looked really cool how you came back in. It was almost like you came out of the ether back into. It was weird.
Metaverse. Wow. Yeah.
I was just changing subjects because we lost you for a second. That Roquan Smith was during the press conference. They released the news to him, and he did not know about this. And the reporter brought the news to him for the very first time, and he lost it. He started crying, and the Bears ended up pulling the video, but I was able to find it. So here it is. Check this out.
Yeah.
What do you make of Robert's time here, and what do you?
Man, sucks. Yeah. I'm gonna take a second if you don't mind. No, I have a great deal of respect for that guy. Damn, crazy.
Yeah, you could tell he means something to this guy, right? I mean,
yeah.
What does that mean for him re-signing with the Bears? There was almost that look on his face, like, "Man, fuck this team. I'm out of here after this year."
I mean, he just found out at like we were talking earlier, the worst time. I mean, he's sitting down, he's talking to the press, trying to gather his thoughts about what he's going to say, and then all of a sudden this is thrown his way. I think he probably was expecting at some point, but again, like us, the fans listening throughout the past few weeks, maybe is thinking it's not going to happen. My guy's going to be here for the rest of the year, and then all of a sudden your guy's
gone. And then here you are at a press conference trying to answer some questions, and they release the information to you, and you're like, "What in the hell is going on right now?" That was very emotional. It's okay. It was very emotional for him, man. And I get it. You build relationships. That's what a football team is about. I hope that doesn't have any thought on his process moving forward with the Bears. I mean, because it was a business decision. I mean, look at the numbers here. This is just the last game. And I know it might be kind of hard to see, but if you go down, I don't know what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lines. Robert Quinn, 1 tackle, 1 solo. I mean, he's not producing this year. He had 8. The guy came in like lightning. Well, he came in not really like lightning. He came in like a lamb and went out like a lion, right? He wasn't doing shit his first year on the Bears. Then last year he has 18.5 sacks. He breaks Richard Dent's record, which we all know Richard Dent is not happy about that, and he should be not happy about that, because it was like a one-hit wonder, and now here we're going into 7 games, and he has 1 sack. and 1 tackle in the last game. I mean, a 4th-round pick for Robert Quinn is exactly what I would have hoped for, and I'm glad that they got it. And I'm sorry for Roquan. I know that the relationship part of the game is one of the aspects that, you have to deal with on the business side, but, hopefully it doesn't affect his decision moving forward with the Bears.
No, like I said, you show him the money. I think he'll stay. I think he also sees the potential with this team. He's leading the league in tackles. I mean, he's producing. So, and the other thing is, like you said, with draft picks, I mean, those draft picks also will show the commitment the Bears have. And the other thing is, a 4th-round draft pick could be a solid offensive lineman coming out of college.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of find one of those diamond in the rough kind of guys, or a guy that can fit the scheme. You could steal somebody.
Right.
So I think 4th round is a great number.
I'm happy with it. I think that most of the Bears fans in chat here, they seem to be happy with the move too. I mean, we almost saw it coming. I mean, we've been talking about it for since the start of the season. So, I mean, the fact that it happened, I didn't think it was going to happen, but I'm glad that it did, because he's not producing for the Bears, and we can move on. Brian, I wanted to tell you what I had for the game, what my dinner was for the Bears game on the Patriots. It was this.
Dude, I guess every night now.
It was a delicious Portillo's. That's an actual Portillo's beef. I know it looks a little nasty, but that deliciousness there is just the bread soaking up that au jus that was still chewy and delicious. And then the Bears won.
Well, now you got your lucky meal.
I'm gonna have to drive to Tampa Bay, Florida every weekend just to get a Portillo's beef to come back, for a win, because there's none in my town.
Well, hey, thank God for Amazon, though. Maybe you can get one of those Portillo's, sent to you, from Amazon or something.
You can. And there's special instructions for that if you do. You have to make sure that if you get one of those Portillo's beef packages mailed to you, make sure you take the rolls and you steam them in the microwave in like a wet paper towel first for like 10-15 seconds inside of a Ziploc bag.
Okay.
And then you can make your sandwich, put your cheese on there, build your sandwich, put your peppers on, and then you got to wrap it in parchment paper, then put it back in the microwave for like another 10 seconds, and it's perfect.
Man, you should put those.
You're going to be here soon. I did.
Yeah,
I have the instructions on a short that I made.
That's good.
You're going to be here soon. We're going to the Bears at the Falcons game here in Atlanta, and I'll be making you a beef when you come to town, buddy.
Dude, I can't wait. Dude,
and your kids.
I still the aftertaste from the last ones you made. Like, I love it. God, I can't. Dude, I try to explain to people. Nobody understands. They'll never understand.
Oh,
well, bless me to live in Chicago.
If you haven't had an Italian beef, boy, I could be a spokesperson for Portillo's. I tell you that much. So, did I lose you again? Lost you again. I wanted to talk about this last game and some of the stats. It's kind of funny when you're looking at these stats. Justin Fields compared to Bailey Zappi. Bailey Zappi just had to outdo Justin Fields by like 1 on every one of them, right? Catches and attempts, 13 of 21 for Justin Fields, 14 of 22 for Bailey Zappi. Average 8.5, Justin Fields had him on there. Oh, Bailey Zappi lost the interception battle. But, I mean, it was like you watched the game. I know you don't get to watch many of the games, but I'm sure you were like most of us, where you were like, oh, we're going to kick these guys' ass. And then they put in that Zappi schmuck, and he starts slinging the ball all over the fucking place. He goes 3 for 3 with a touchdown. We're like, oh my God, no, please, please do not let this happen. Were you scared at that point?
The second time, the second touchdown, because he did it back to back. I started going, oh no, not again. Mm-hmm. Mac Jones, I think he was hurting. I don't think he was ready to come back. But the Bears made an adjustment. They made a big time adjustment against Zappe, and apparently Zappe's not all that everybody's making him out to be. So,
well, that the Bears defense is actually playing pretty well. I mean,
oh yeah,
they adjust the way that they adjust is absolutely astounding. Like, even if they're having a bad first half, they come back in the second half and they adjust perfectly, almost perfectly, and they have, been doing really well. I think they've only given up a couple of touchdowns in the second half throughout 7 games.
yeah.
So and then we're also looking at the development of Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker along with this, and we're seeing Gordon and Brisker get an interception in this last game, and the interception by Brisker, a one-hander.
Oh yeah, I know.
How sick was that?
Dude, he's a stud. That guy's an absolute stud. I was listening to, I think it was Trent Dilfer. He does a great job with breaking down not only quarterback, but he breaks down football. And he said Brisker's an absolute stud, is what he said. Mm-hmm. And then it was funny because that next day after the game, Jacob was watching little shorts about the combine, and he showed Brisker jumping at a 34-inch vertical leap. And then I went, oh, I get it now. That 34-inch leap going up there for that one-handed interception, I see it now. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that guy, in the way he comes downhill, oh, my God. Dude, that to me,
game record.
Dude, just a guy who loves defense, watching him, they any type of running play, that guy reads it and he's gone. I mean, he's flying downhill. He's almost like another linebacker.
I've been saying that from draft day. Yeah, he is. They can always play him at the Sam linebacker spot. Yeah,
it's like, and then with a guy like that, I mean, the different schemes you can run, the different zone coverages you can run, and then you could use Rokon, just coming, blitzing either A gap. I mean, then then you could disguise things. And I've heard, one thing, because of the 11 days they had off, the adjustments they made on defense and the fact they are putting more pressure on teams. And they did that with the Patriots. They used, more pressure, more stunts and more blitzes. So, look, I look at their schedule.
You're a defensive coach, by the way, for high school. So
or middle school, but
middle school, high school. Fuck it might as well be high school. You're down in Savannah-ish. You're in the South. Coaching middle school football on a high school level. I mean, I've never heard anything about the practices that you guys do down here. You do it year round for middle school. Like, holy shit! No wonder why they're pumping NFL players out of the South like maniacs. Although I did hear that Illinois is doing the same thing. They're practicing year round now too. So
yeah, I did. I read that too. That they've taken on that opportunity to go year round. Because when I first moved here, I was shocked. I didn't understand.
Yeah,
I thought you started in
when
August.
you first told me about it, I was like, what?
Yeah.
We have a Josh Wengler here. He's asking about a possible sponsorship deal, and yes, I think we should make that announcement. We kind of have before, but for anybody that hasn't seen it, we now have a sponsor.
Greetings, I'm Dr. Dick Richards. Have you ever thought you were done going pee-pee, only moments later to find a drip or 2 or 3 in your underwear? Have you ever felt ashamed? Well, feel ashamed no more. Even the iconic legendary musician Elvis Presley has had his own share of drippy dick. For all the males in the they, them, there, though, thou arts out there, anyone with a dick, I've invented a revolutionary patented design called Drippy Dicks. Our state-of-the-art patented design can absorb up to 2.5 cups of pee-pee. Place adhesive side down in your banana hammock. Watch Drippy Dicks go to work. The banana hammock is still dry. Just look at that absorption. Drippy Dicks. Made by a dick, for a dick. Drippy Dicks.
We want to thank Drippy Dicks for being our sponsor. Make sure you go out and get yourself a box of Drippy Dicks today. You want your local drugstores.
Oh, dude.
St. Dominic says, this is a direct market item. I would like to get involved. Contact the email at the bottom of the Bears Country podcast site, St. Dominic. And thanks for joining us. I mean, back to the game, like, we saw a lot of things that the Bears were doing really well with the Patriots. The defense is playing well. We're seeing they're leading the league in rushing. I mean, at 181 yards a game, that's a lot. Mm-hmm. The last time that happened for the Bears was during the Walter Payton era, and it was only like 168 yards a game. Yeah. So we're over that. I mean, for everyone bitching and moaning about this team underperforming, I've been saying from day one that it's a building process. You have to learn the entire offense. Then you have to learn the offensive plays within each offensive play. Because as you know, Brian, there's different ways as a defensive coach to stop every single play, right? There's 5 or 6 different ways to stop one. Every single play has 5 or 6 different ways to stop it, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, they have to build, they have to learn the offense, and they have to develop in the offense, and they have to continue to develop. And that's what we're seeing here. And the coaching has been, in my opinion, pretty damn good. There's been plays there that have been missed, and that wasn't the coach's fault. And they've been adjusting to the game as it goes. They've been doing a good job. I'm happy with the coaching staff.
Yeah, I am too. I like the adjustments, and they're really, they had to get a feel for what they have. I mean, you have a brand new head coach, a brand new signal caller. I think the brand new brand new defensive coordinator. I don't know if he's ever been a defensive coordinator. I don't know much about him. So they're getting a feel for their players and, where their talents lie. And the big thing offensively is Justin Fields, what you can do with this guy. The more and more watching him, the more and more, like, I think I made a comment in one of your episodes about how, he's been running for his life. And I was more like, yeah, good. Let him run for his life, because he can put his foot in the dirt and he just can get upfield. I mean, he finds a seam, like against the Commanders. Dude, they gave him a seam. He was gone. And the whole game, the announcer's like, why do they not spy him? Why do you not spy him? Why do you not? And I'm like, yeah, because every time they went into coverage, I mean, they went to their hooks, the linebackers, and everybody went deep. Fields just put his foot in the dirt and just took off. And I'm like, well, shoot.
Here's an interesting number looking at these defensive stats from the last game. In the previous game against the Commanders, Justin Fields was sacked 5 times, but he was also hit 12 times.
Yeah.
And they were brutal, vicious hits.
Mm-hmm.
So you can pretty much just count those as sacks, because, 30% of those hits he was laying on the ground for, a couple of seconds after, just trying to get his, strength back up. And you look at this game, 4. The New England Patriots had 4 quarterback hits. They had 4 sacks. But, that's only, if you combine those and you just make those sacks, that's only 8 compared to last week, which was 17. So I guess, that's getting better. As long as you can keep the kid on his feet. And I like what they were doing with the designed run plays for him. I don't want him to do it too often, but if the game calls for it, I mean, we don't want him to get injured. Right. But if the game calls for it, they were playing a lot of man defense that game, and that's what they did. They adjusted to the defense. Yeah, and I mean, shoot. So that's the hard part. Like, like I said, trying to run a defense and going, all right, well, I got, certain, down and distance. I got to go man to shut down the passing game, but they got a threat of a quarterback who could just run. Mm-hmm. What do you do? I mean, you got to cover, because if you don't cover, he's just going to sling it over your head. Mm-hmm. Or, you got to find a guy in the middle that could spy him, but then you give up a zone. Then you got one-on-one. I mean, that's the other thing, is that if you got one guy spying Justin Fields, and Fields is the athlete that he is, I don't know. I mean, I'm curious to see how defenses play him now. Mm-hmm. And once his arm starts, his accuracy gets better, his decision making, and they were saying that, I guess, he was able to start making progressions better. He's starting to go from right to left or left to right, whatever it might be. So it's not even that; it's just getting rid of the ball quicker. Yeah, that too. Yeah, getting rid of. Yeah, but they were saying that It seemed to be
before-
like the moment that he saw that he needed to throw the ball, he realized he didn't throw it, and he's like, "Fuck, it's too late," and then he just took off
Yeah.
running. You know,
Right. But he's getting better with that. I'm telling you what, man, the more I listen to smart people break this guy down, the more excited I get, because he takes a lot of shit in the press, but then you get a smart guy saying, no, let's relook at this, and his talent level is up there with the Lamar Jacksons. Somebody was even, equating him to like a Steve Young type player, even though Steve Young was scrambling and just ran for his life. But,
Yeah.
With
he was a good
Justin
runner,
Fields.
but he was also a good passer.
Right. And Justin Fields, once he starts becoming that good passer, shoot, I don't know.
I mean, he's got the accuracy. It's already there. It's just a matter of, learning the offense.
And confidence. And I did hear, with his arm angle, they said that's not really that big of a deal, but kind of learning to throw more with his abdomen than with his arm, kind of coming forward, that will change some things too. And he'll get it. He's doing the right things to prepare himself for it. I like his breathing. I'll tell you what, I was really stoked to hear a guy with his whole breathing, practices, because
There's a lot of people making fun of that, though.
no, that's the dumbest thing ever. That's the greatest
I
thing ever.
agreed.
Because for one, when he got his ass kicked against the Commanders, he got up and he went to the sideline. He just breathed. So he got his body back in, working order. His mind and body.
Meditating, basically.
Yeah. And then he got better. Then he was able to throw that dirty pill. What was it? Was that Pettis he threw that to? That bomb?
Yeah, that dirty pill. I love the words.
It
was a dirty pill, wasn't it?
It was not. So, yeah, I'm excited.
What do you think about moving on from this awesome win against the Patriots? What do you think about this upcoming game against the Cowboys? Steve Phillips says, I'm not really scared of Dallas offensively. Defensively, they could cause us trouble. If we score 10 points in the first half, we'll win. I like your thinking there, Steve Phillips. I think you're right about that.
Well, if
you
Ezekiel,
get 10 points in that first half, that defense will shut them down in the second half. I'm confident of that defense in the second half. I really am.
Yeah, I think Dallas's defense, he's right. Dallas could give us some problems. I mean,
Micah Parsons.
Yeah, Micah Parsons. That's been the name. Him right there. So
they did a documentary about Justin Fields coming out of – it was I forget what it was called. I have it in the links to one of my first videos. It was about Justin Fields. And he was in a documentary coming out of college, going into the NFL. And there was like a class of 5 of them that were part of this documentary. And Micah Parsons was one of them. And he just seemed like such a really cool kid, man. He was just a jokester. You could tell, like, just from the person that he was going to be good. And holy shit, has he been? Wow, he terrifies me. I'm scared of him. I'll say that much. But that's the only thing I'm scared about on this Dallas team. I really think that we can beat them. We really have good luck against the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think Dak might be coming back though, right? Is he coming? Is Prescott coming back for this game? I'm not sure.
I think he is.
Then you got Ezekiel. I think his ankle. I think he hurt his ankle. He may not be playing.
I'm going to save that question for later, Steve Phillips.
I don't. I watch Dallas a little bit because they're always on TV, but I don't know what to make of them. So,
well, Cooper Rush was playing for a while there and playing pretty well for the Cowboys. I mean, they're in second place.
Yeah, he was like what 4-1, 3-1 or something. I mean,
yeah. But if Prescott comes back, then I'm even kind of more thinking this is going to be a win, because coming back from an injury that you missed that many games, you're going to be a little bit rusty, I would think. And if he's not playing, then I think this defense is starting to get advantageous, and they're getting hungry for that hits principle, the takeaway parts of it, and they've been showing it. Both rookies with a pick last week was fucking awesome.
Right. I've always felt that the Bears defense keeps them in games, and actually it's kind of interesting. I was looking at their their schedule, they've only got pretty much blown out once, and that was by the Packers. Everywhere else, they were in the game. I think the 8 points is the most they've lost by. Really, a touchdown, a 2-point conversion. So you're there in every game, and now we're almost hitting the second half of the season. There's second place.
We could easily be 5-1 right now.
Yeah, but
or 4-2.
We can easily.
Sorry, we played 7 games. That'd be 5-2 or 6-1. So the Packers game was the only game that was, you could really say, got a little bit out of hand, but it wasn't too terribly out of hand. We still had the moment at the end when Justin Fields got to the goal line and a fucking shotgun snapped QB sneak that he actually scored a touchdown on, but they didn't give him. But that was because it was the Packers.
Right.
It's like, I swear to God, the refs, they come in with $1 million check in their pocket to make sure that the Bears lose this game. It's every fucking time. I'm so sick of it. We're going to see what happens in Soldier Field if that prick owns us again. I don't want to get started on that. This has nothing to do about the Packers, but I fucking hate the Packers so much that if I start talking about it,
yeah, I know you get riled up.
So where were we? Yeah, Sanami's saying Dak's going to be a little rusty. Oh yeah. So Steve Phillips, I think Prescott played last weekend. So
he did. Okay.
Yeah. See, that goes to show you how much I pay attention to the Cowboys. But I think this is easily a winnable game for the Bears. For some reason, I can't think of the last time we lost to the Cowboys. Even after they won the Super Bowl, the next season the Bears opened up against the Cowboys in 91 or 92 or something like that. And they beat them. So I think the Bears are going to beat the Cowboys. I really do. Even what's his name? Josh McCown had a great game against the Cowboys. Everyone was pining for him to take Cutler's place because of that game. Trubisky had a good game against the Cowboys. Justin Fields is starting to get his mojo, right?
Right.
So this is a win for me.
Yeah, I mean, it looks favorable the way they're, like I said, their defenses. If they lock down their receivers and they force the Cowboys, to try to beat you with the run game, and they're swarming. They're swarming the run game. So the offense just, if the offense, I don't want to call it conservative, but try not to make too many big plays. Use that running game we have. Use sprint outs, use those rollouts they keep on talking about with Fields, which I think they're working, especially against the Patriots when they started sprinting him out now instead of rolling him out. That was working great because, he was able to, I think he missed one pass. And even Aikman, I think, said that might be the ball. He's like, even I might have had a hard time with that pass.
Yeah, I remember saying that, yeah.
So, you keep doing that. I'm telling you, they have a great chance. They're not going to wow anybody. But Justin Fields will wow people, but I don't think the team itself is going to wow. But they can win.
Go ahead, keep talking.
I say they could still win games, playing with, an aggressive defense, a mildly conservative, patient offense. They got 2 great running backs. I mean, Herbert and Montgomery. I mean,
are you saying that this is still possible?
Very much so. I mean,
it's possible. We can only lose 2 more games. I'm just saying.
And playoffs. They could still. It's
we have the same record as the Packers right now, and they're about to get their ass handed to them tomorrow night by the Bills. I can't wait to watch that. I cannot wait to watch that.
Yeah, I never thought I'd be a Buffalo Bills fan, but hey.
You know what? I feel for the Buffalo Bills fans. If they would have won all 4 of those Super Bowls in a row, nobody would be talking about the fucking Cowboys, right?
They would hate them. They hate the Patriots.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
It's a
if
shame.
They would have won all 4 of those Super Bowls, they would have been known as the best team of all time.
Oh, yeah.
I feel for the Buffalo fans, and I hope they kick the fucking shit out of the Packers tomorrow night. I cannot wait to watch that. And I hope it happens.
I do too. Yeah, every time I watch, it's funny. Just that loathing you have for the Packers and how much it doesn't matter. It could be, Satan versus the Packers, and I'm going for Satan all the way. I cannot. Yeah. And the horrible thoughts that go through my mind when I watch the Packers and what I want to have happen to that team and that stadium and that freaking city. It's like, God, I don't know.
No, and all the calls they get in every game, and we break his collarbone, and he comes back the final game of the season, or whatever, to beat us on 4th and 9 with a 28-27 game, and throws a 4th and 9 touchdown pass to Randall Cobb for 48 yards. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But
the tides are turning, man, and that's why I was hoping that they didn't trade him, because I thought I want Justin Fields to take the reins from this cocksucker,
Oh, and he's on his way, I think. I mean, I think Rodgers, what is he, 38, 39, 38 years old?
38.
Yeah, he's not going to pull a Brady and play until he's freaking 50. So
God, I hope not.
Somebody's going to snap. I'll be honest with you. I think his own wide receivers are going to put him in an early grave because he's so pissed off at his wide receivers. God,
Yes, he is.
It's funny to hear he just lows and everybody knows that
It's fun to see him on the sideline all pissed off at them too. You're like,
good. Keep dropping.
I was hoping this was going to happen.
Yeah.
It was either going to be one of two things. They were going to he was just going to make these rookie receivers blow up, or they were going to completely suck and they were going to piss them off. It was there was no middle ground to that. It was going to be one or the other.
Well, speaking of the Packers, though, when we talked about free agency, Alan Lazard, I like Alan Lazard as a wide receiver, and we keep talking about we need an extra guy. Lazard might be that guy. He's a free agent.
Wait. Oh, after from the Chiefs after this year?
Or no, from the Packers.
No, he's on the Chiefs right now. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the other receiver that they got from
Schuster.
No,
Juju. They have Juju.
The Chiefs got one of the Packers' other receivers. It
was
Equanimous St. Brown and the other guy. He's got a weird name like that too. But
okay.
Yeah. You're right. We could get. I'm not really. I don't really want Alan Lazard.
Really?
What I want is a wide receiver in the second round, because if you look at the draft historically, the second round has a lot of great players, all pros, Hall of Famers in there. It's statistically, if you look at the numbers, I want a wide receiver in the second round. The first round, I would like that to be a defensive tackle of some sort, whether it's a big pig in the middle, a big Ted Washington, Vince Wilfork type, or we go
one technique guy that just plugs the middle. Yeah.
Right. Or go get that Tommy Harris if there's one out there. I haven't looked at the draft. I'm sorry if you guys have. I don't know what's going on in the draft, but I've heard that there's some good defensive tackles to be had in this draft. So however many of them are three techniques, I don't know, but that's what I'm hoping that they do. Get a wide receiver in the second round, maybe even trade down if you can, and get more picks in the first round or another second rounder. I think that's Cole's strategy anyway.
Yeah, I'm curious, at least with the receivers, I was looking up the top 10 receivers coming into this year, and then I looked at the top receivers now, and I don't think I saw one of the names, the ones they predicted are not, I guess their numbers aren't where, other receivers' numbers are. So I'm curious to see.
Watson sucks for the Packers.
Yeah. So
everyone thought Christian Watson was, the Packers got Christian Watson. Then you're watching him drop passes all over the place in training camp, and he drops that deep ball in the first game.
It's the league, though. I mean, it's funny. If you ever play fantasy football, it's like you take, all of these, top picks that are supposed to be studs and they suck, but then some no-name guy is getting you all these points. And you're like, where the hell did this guy come from?
I wanted to answer this question from Steve Phillips. Do you think the Bears are better without Quinn? Who will take his place, and when will the defense take a hit? I'm going to let you answer that question first.
Me? I don't know. I mean, that I think has been one of their weaknesses, has been the edge. Looking statistically, who was it? Is it Muhammad and is it Gibson or the other two? That's a great question.
And the rookie Robinson.
Okay.
Dominique Robinson.
I don't know if they're going to be better. I mean, they actually that may become a weakness. Be able to hold that edge, come off that edge. So
I'm going to say that they're going to be no different.
No different. Okay.
As we're showing here, I mean, one fucking tackle in the last game.
Right.
It's got like one sack on the year. He goes from 18.5 to, I mean,
no,
so
okay.
yeah, I'm glad we got a 4th round pick for him. It's better than having to deal with one sack and 12 tackles on the year from the guy, and then have to fucking pay him again next year. A 4th round pick it's like the best thing you can hope for.
I think what we got now, is better, but that position with his replacement is going to be curious.
And as far as who will take his place, that's going to have to be Gibson. He's going to have to step up. So is the rookie.
Okay.
And will the D take a hit? No, I do not think I don't think the defense will notice a difference. In fact, I think the defense might step it up because they're going to be a little bit upset that they lost one of their leaders.
Right. And
you're right, St. Omni. He is better than his stats last year, but it's just not happening. It's a 4th round pick I'm glad we got it. Everyone else I think is going to step up from this. It's going to amp them up to, whether it's through emotion because they loved the leader and they lost the leader, like Roquan Smith did when we showed you that video earlier of him crying and having to leave the podium. I mean, how many other people feel that way on the team? So maybe they step it up. Maybe Gibson gets 3 sacks this next game. Who knows?
Yeah, because they're going to have to, pay attention, obviously, to Roquan. They're going to have to, pay attention to the secondary. They're going to have to, what the blitz packages they decide to put in there. And I'm curious to know what they do with Brisker. If they put him on any blitz packages, send him off the edge somewhere.
I would like to see that. He already has a sack.
Right. And then, in the middle, I mean, so I don't know if they'll be able to exploit that weakness. For me personally, the edge, I always worry about just because it's the contain. You get outside,
Right.
They're getting yards. Now in the NFL, you got guys coming downhill. You got guys scraping over hard. It's a little different story, but just that edge always has me a little worried. I like having that, that guy who can, control that outside and rush, and so I think that one's up in the air. We will see. It's something we should pay attention to. I'll be honest with you. Seriously, pay attention to that.
For sure, yeah. Leo Factor says Quinn pressuring the QB pretty often, and he used to be double teamed. They've been playing Gibson Dom 1-on-1, and they have. He's been dominating 1-on-1. So I'm happy to get the 4th round pick. I'm happy to have the players that we have on the team develop. We go into next year with extra picks, and maybe we turn those into more picks, and we draft some of these players that I think the Bears can draft. I'm confident in this coaching staff. I'm confident in this general manager. I'm confident in how he's hired an assistant general manager, and they've been getting better as the season has gone along. There's been some bumpy roads along the way, but better than anyone expected. So I don't think there's anything to complain about at all moving forward. Just keep progressing, remain patient as fans, don't overreact to everything, allow the process to work. We come in at Dallas, we shock them, and from there, we're going to be talking about the Bears in an entirely different light a week from tonight, Brian. The Bears go in there and kick the Cowboys' ass. I promise you, you're going to see all the heads that are on fire. They're going to be doused with water.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, this has been a great episode of Last Call at HALAS Hall with you. Do you have any last parting words you'd like to say before we wrap this up?
No, I really, I have a great time doing this. I've been fortunate enough. The Bears have been on TV, watch them a little more. I at least try to read up, what's going on with them. So, I'll come on, whenever you want me to.
I'd love to have you on anytime.
Especially, they start, we start talking playoffs. I'll definitely really want to come on and start, having a conversation about where they are, and their, where they could be at the end of the year. So, I mean,
we've got a spot for you here at Last Call at HALAS Hall on our episode of Last Call at HALAS Hall. Anytime, buddy.
I appreciate that. Definitely. So
you'll have to talk more next time about your coaching experiences and how they relate to your understanding of what you're seeing on the field. It's gonna be awesome to go to the game with you too.
Oh, I know. I'm excited. Let me just tell you, I don't know if it's a funny story, but when I was doing my fantasy draft for football, we're doing it at school. Well, I picked the Buccaneers to be the defense, but I picked the Bears as my backup, and I realized the Buccaneers, their bye is the week the Bears play the Falcons. And I didn't know that. And I realized it at the end, and I was like, oh my God, it's hilarious that. But I will say this, I've kind of dropped the Buccaneers and put the Bears defense in there anyways to start. So I thought that, the one time I'm going to use the Bears was at the Falcons game.
While you're there with us at the game.
Yeah, while I'm at the game, but not anymore. I put them as my starting because they're way better than the Buccaneers.
Dude, we're gonna have an entourage. It's gonna be me and Ian and my Kitty, my wife, and then you and your wife and your two kids, and then a guy that lives here who's from Chicagoland, and he got tickets. He's sitting right behind us, and I think he's bringing his dad. It's gonna be 9 of us going to this game together.
It's gonna be great, dude. We're gonna
overtake the stadium.
Yeah, we are.
I'm looking forward to it.
Dude, it's Georgia. The Bears may still overtake the stadium. It seems like there's more Bear fans in Georgia than there are Georgia or Atlanta fans.
Yeah, the people in Georgia, all they care about is the Bulldogs. They don't care about the Falcons.
Oh yeah, I know.
I mean, the Bears game I was at before the new stadium was 80% Bears fans, and the Falcons fans had cleared out. Cutler was killing them that game, and there was all of us Bears fans left in there just chanting and overtaking the whole stadium. It was so much fun.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to this.
Man. Me too, man. If you stay an extra day, maybe you'll be here right with me to do the podcast with me.
I'll talk to Jen and see what she says. So
all right, buddy.
All right, man.
Well, thanks for coming on, man. I love you, bro.
Yeah, I love you too. I appreciate it.
And we'll see you soon, man. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight on this version of Last Call at HALAS Hall on Bears Country Podcast. If you like this content, please make sure to subscribe, set your notifications, because there's always more coming. Brian, you wanted to do the breakdown? The Bears on 1, 2, 3.
Go Bears!
2. What? No, you gotta. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Bears.
Go Bears!